Good morning. Now I know from the comments that you place on this channel that many of you are dealing with the most awful circumstances, whether it's stress illnesses, post-traumatic stress disorder, or other circumstances that have occasioned suffering caused probably by other people. Now it's natural in those circumstances to feel worthless, but I would like you please to try to fight that feeling. And I want to demonstrate this morning that you are extremely valuable to God. Now, first of all, just think about what you have done. In your illness, you have looked to our God for help. You have tried to read the scriptures. Now, you might not always have done that. You might have at times not been able to pray to God or read the Bible. But in the end, we do turn to our God, and that is what makes us valuable. And I'll explain why, because if you look in the book of John, chapter 6, and verse 44, it says this: "No one can come to me unless he is drawn by the Father who sent me." So if you have any inclination to read the scriptures or to pray, it's because Jehovah our God has drawn you to do it. And he's done that because he loves us dearly and you are valuable to him. Now, I'm sure that you know the story of Asa. He was a king of Judah. And on the whole, he was a very good king and stuck to what Jehovah wanted. And in fact, this is in 2 Chronicles chapter 14, it starts. You might like to read the whole account sometime because it's faith strengthening. But in verse 11 of chapter 14, Asa says this: "Jehovah, no one but you can stand up for the powerless against the powerful." So he had great faith, and for most of his life he relied on Jehovah to help him. However, towards the end of his reign, the king of Israel came against Judah, and instead of turning to Jehovah, Asa turned to the king of Syria and paid for him to come and help in the situation. Now the prophet was sent by Jehovah to Asa, and he said to Asa, "Look, all your life you have relied on Jehovah, and Jehovah has helped you out wonderfully. Why now have you gone to the king of Syria?" Well, Asa got offended by the prophet, and of course he threw him in prison. Now later in life, Asa became quite ill, and the Bible says this about him, and it's in 2 Chronicles 16 and about 12 and 13. "A disease attacked Asa from head to foot in the 39th year of his reign, and what is more, he turned in his sickness not to Jehovah." So that's an example that we don't want to follow. But doesn't it show that all Jehovah wants us to do is to turn to him when we have difficulties, and he will help us out? Yes, we do have to go to the doctor, but Jehovah will help us with that. He'll help us to endure, knowing that when the kingdom comes, all our problems, all our illnesses will be put right. However, there's a lovely verse of comfort, and it's in the book of Ephesians chapter 3, and it's verses 18 to 20, and it's talking here about the love of the Christ, and it says that we need to have the strength to grasp the breadth, the length, the height and the depth of the love of Christ, which is beyond all knowledge. And then it says, "Glory be to him whose power working in us can infinitely do more than we can ask or imagine." Just think about that. God can do more than we can imagine. So don't lose your faith. keep hold of Jehovah. You won't be able to do very much because you're dealing, well, all of us are dealing with these awful illnesses and stresses and problems. So we won't be able to do very much, but that's not what Jehovah wants. We are valuable to him when we turn to the scriptures or we turn to Jehovah in prayer. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope those verses have helped a little bit. Thank you so much.